Kyle Shanahan, thank you so much for coming to the weekly quality control meeting early in the morning, 9 o'clock. Usually I have it a little later, but today I got to take my mom to a rehab facility where we can learn how to pick up my dad on Friday. So I got to squeeze you in early. It's going to be a quickie. All right. I don't got time to take questions, to stop. You just sit there and take notes like Jimmy Garoppolo. You do your Jimmy Garoppolo impression, not my Jimmy Garoppolo impression. Your Jimmy Garoppolo impression, the one where he just takes notes endlessly. All right? Because here's the thing about you, Kyle. Really smart guy. I respect what you do. You have no idea what to do at the quarterback position. You're floundering there. And all your great play designs aren't going to save your job if you still don't find an answer at quarterback heading into year 5. You got to find an answer. You're lost. You are way down the wrong street. So this is why you have me on your squad. This is why you pay me nothing. So I can come here and tell you what to do. Tell the guy making the big bucks exactly how to do his job. It's what I do. It's why he called me quality control. So I'm going to lay out 5 scenarios, 5 options. We'll go through each one, pros and cons, and then we'll determine which one you should do. You should go with by the end. All right. You got your notebook. You're going to take some notes. I like that. I like that. Attentive. That's why you get the big bucks. Okay. Starting off, your favorite option, Kyle. Keep Jimmy Garoppolo. I know the mere hearing the words enter your ear, cross through your brain synapses makes you want to hurl, Kyle. I know you can't stand the idea of keeping Jimmy Garoppolo, but that's an option. You guys talked about how you're fine with him. You're okay with Jimmy Garoppolo. You can win with Jimmy Garoppolo, which really is such a backhanded compliment to Jimmy. It's really complimenting yourself, not Jimmy. I mean, yeah, Jimmy's crap, but I can win with him. Sure. Okay. So it's a legit option that, the team seems to like him. He's been there for 4 years. Keep Jimmy. Okay. You keep Jimmy. Not at his current contract, Kyle. If you keep Jimmy, you have to extend his contract. Write that down. If you keep Jimmy, you have to extend his contract because that'll allow you to restructure it and make him affordable in 2021 because no one wants to pay him $27 million this year coming off his second injury-plagued season in 3 years, and now that the cap's going down. Can't have it. So if you keep Jimmy, you have to be prepared to extend him and restructure him. Are you willing to do that, Kyle? No, I'm not asking you. This is a rhetorical question. I know the answer. Just take notes. Notes. You don't want to do that. You would have done it last year if you were willing to extend his deal. You don't like him. You put up with him. Thank you for the official quality control mug and my official quality control jacket. I can't show you the back right now. You don't want to extend him because we know how you feel about him. You don't like him that much. So you only have 2 options here. There is no keep him at his current salary. That is not an option. Get rid of Jimmy, extend him. I know you're not willing to do the second thing, so you got to get rid of Jimmy, all right? Keeping Jimmy is not an option for you unless you commit to him, and you won't commit to him, so you got to get rid of him, okay? I know now this might be tough. Maybe Jed York won't let you because Jed York likes Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a likable person. Maybe he's respectful to Jed York. Maybe he's marketable. They've sold a lot of Jimmy Garoppolo bobbleheads and stuff. You got to go convince Jed York. Do you want me to come with you? I could sit with you in the meeting and I could speak for you because you tend to kind of speak through your nose and direct your words to your belly button. You want to kind of speak through your chest when you talk to Jed York, when you speak to grownups in general. So I think I could be there with you. I could make your case. Look, we don't need Jimmy Garoppolo anymore. I'll hold your hand. What do you say? Find a way to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's move on to option B. Draft a replacement. This is probably a more appealing option than keeping Jimmy Garoppolo. Drafting a replacement. But the thing about drafting a replacement is you're going to start a rookie in year 5. You're not rebuilding. Everyone in the organization seems to think that this is a Super Bowl contending team that just needs a quarterback. So you're going to take on a guy who's even more raw and undeveloped than Jimmy Garoppolo. Better athlete, better tools, but less polished. I mean, his ability some guy you take it at 12, who knows if he can execute the offense as well as Jimmy Garoppolo? I mean, it seems to me that since the salary cap is coming down, that a lot of teams want cheaper quarterbacks, not guys like Jimmy G, not the average quarterback making $25 million. No, they want bargains at quarterback. So the first place you look, the draft, that rookie wage scale. And what I'm hearing is a lot of quarterbacks go in top 10 before you pick, Kyle. I'm hearing Trevor Lawrence number 1, maybe Zach Wilson number 2, maybe Justin Fields number 3 or 4, and then freaking Mac Jones no lower than number 8. So where does that leave you? I mean, you could trade up for Mac Jones, trade up for a guy who has 17 career starts in college and, throws with anticipation, but has never experienced the type of pressure he's going to experience in the NFL behind your offensive line. I mean, that'll be a whole new ball game for him. He could struggle his rookie year. In fact, I think he will. All of these quarterbacks that you could potentially replace Jimmy Garoppolo with now are inexperienced and are not guaranteed to be better than Jimmy Garoppolo in 2021. So if you start Mac Jones in 2021, odds are you're going to have a losing season. Same with any rookie other than Trevor Lawrence. Justin Fields, you traded for him in his 22 career starts in college. He's a project. He's a toolsy project who could be really good by year 3 the way Josh Allen is, but he doesn't have those kind of tools. I think he's going to struggle right away. You start Justin Fields next year, you getting losing season number 4 in 5 years. Same with Zach Wilson. Toolsy project, needs development. More green than Jimmy Garoppolo. Kyle Trask, 22 career starts, didn't even start in high school. That guy needs to sit. The only person that I think is ready to start right away is Kellen Mond. That's a day 3 pick. Kyle, you got the cojones to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and replace him with Texas A&M starting quarterback on day 3? I don't know, man. That's tough. So it seems to me if you draft a replacement, it could work out down the line, but how many losing seasons are you going to put the team through before you actually get where you want to go? How many seasons are you going to sacrifice? I think you want to have a winning season this year, because if you have a losing season, you won't get fired, but someone else might. John Lynch might. There's going to be consequences. So I don't know. I mean, it seems like you don't like Jimmy Garoppolo because he's not a finished product. He needs development. You seem to have no patience for quarterbacks who need development. You don't like to let them develop on the job. So I don't see how drafting the replacement works out. It seems like your option here is draft Trey Lance at pick 12. You really want to replace Jimmy Garoppolo with Trey Lance? Trey Lance could be good in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 17 years, but I don't know if he's going to be good in 2021. I mean, he could get you fired. You got to be really careful if you're drafting a replacement. You should draft a quarterback, but I don't know if he should be starting in 2021 if you value your job security, even though I know you think it's, Teflon. It's never going to be in question. Well, don't push it. You don't know how Jed York acts if you have another losing season. Be careful of drafting a replacement quarterback. Okay, the next logical option is to sign a cheap veteran replacement. I like this better. If we're going the cheap route, you could go a quarterback in round 1, but those guys aren't cheap. They're pretty expensive compared to what Cam Newton is going to make next year. Andy Dalton, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Also, those guys all need to be developed. I went through them. They don't have this. They don't have the reps, the experience in college. They're toolsy guys who are going to struggle early on. All of them, except for Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion, expert opinion, because I'm quality control. So I think a better option is you can get cheaper guys on the free agent market who are actually developed. They don't need hand-holding from you, Kyle Shanahan. They just need a better supporting cast and system, and you can offer them that. You can't offer them a better offensive line. You got to work on that this offseason. We'll talk about that another day, but you can actually offer. Let's talk about the 3 big ones: Cam Newton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Andy Dalton. These guys are all serviceable, arguably just as good as Jimmy Garoppolo for a fraction of the price. I don't know which one you want to go. They're all fine. Andy Dalton, he's a lot like Jimmy Garoppolo. He has way more starting experience than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's about as immobile as Jimmy Garoppolo. He's better. I would take him. You also could get Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's older, but he's a little bit more mobile than Andy Dalton. He's a good player too. And then there's Cam Newton, who played well last year when he was healthy. He got COVID. He wasn't healthy all the time. And that supporting cast in New England is just terrible. If you put Cam Newton with George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Raheem Mostert, he would look a lot better, and he'd be so cheap. So of the 3 options we've laid out so far, keep Jimmy Garoppolo and extend his deal, I give that 8 thumbs down. I don't want to do that. Draft a replacement and start him right away. I'm not really into that. I mean, Justin Fields, as I said, could be good in year 3. But in 2021, a year that you need to start a winning record, Kyle, who's going to be a better quarterback in 2021? Justin Fields or Cam Newton? I say Cam Newton. I don't think Justin Fields is the prospect Cam Newton was coming out of college. And I think Cam Newton, if he's healthy and on a team with playmakers and a good scheme, is a better quarterback than Justin Fields. So why trade a bunch of assets to move up for some project from Ohio State when you could just sign Cam Newton for $3 million or sign Andy Dalton for $3 million or sign Ryan Fitzpatrick for $3 million? I think this is the smart play. Instead of trying to get some cheap guy who needs to be developed, I mean, yeah, you'll have a cheap quarterback in 2021, but you won't win because he's a rookie who's not ready. Or you could get a guy who's ready to go and has been labeled a backup because he doesn't have the upside. I don't know. I think this is my favorite option of the three I've laid out so far. Sign a cheap veteran replacement, and Kyle, you be the reason that he works out. Remember when who was that guy on the Vikings who went? Case Keenum went to the NFC Championship game. You're a better coach than whatever they had in Minnesota. Can't you take a guy like Case Keenum to the NFC Championship? I mean, you took Jimmy Garoppolo to the Super Bowl. You don't even like him. I like this better. So this is my favorite option. Now let's move on. This is always Roman. It's always lingering out there. It's always lingering. Real quick, I got someone to answer. I'm not taking questions, and if this is from Kyle Shanahan, hold on. Poncho says, "You have the best memory." Question: Can you think of the last throw Jimmy has thrown that made you say, "Wow, what and where"? No, Jimmy doesn't make wild throws. He's not a wild player. He just has this it factor where he would win games even though he wasn't particularly spectacular, and now he's not even winning games anymore. No. Jimmy Garoppolo does not make wild plays with his feet, with his arm. He doesn't. Kyle, I'm back to you now. All right. Kirk Cousins. Here's the deal. People think that you're still considering trading for Kirk Cousins. Peter King floated a potential three-way trade where you would send a first-round pick and Jimmy Garoppolo out and get Kirk Cousins back in. Let me tell you something real quick, Kyle. If you trade for Kirk Cousins, let me be real clear. If you trade for Kirk Cousins, you're going to get fired. Not right away, but it's going to lead to you getting fired from the 49ers. And you know what? I'm going to help run you out of town. I promise you. If you trade for Kirk Cousins, I will be leading the charge. I'll be the leader of the pack running you out of town. And I'm giving you fair warning right now. Do not trade for Kirk Cousins, all right? It's not that he's terrible. It's just that he's not that good. And he's expensive. He's not worth a first-round pick. His contract is expensive and guaranteed. Teammates don't like him. He's not mobile. He's never accomplished anything when it matters. Nothing. You'll lose the team. You'll lose the fan base. You'll lose all the goodwill that you've built up the last 5 years. Do not freaking do it. I'm not even joking with you, Kyle. I am talking directly to you. If you trade for Kirk Cousins, you're going to get fired. I won't even have to work that hard. I could lead the charge. There's going to be 8,000 me's telling Jed York to fire you. There will be banners flown over Levi Stadium saying, get Kyle Shanahan and Kirk Cousins the hell out of here. I'm just giving you fair warning. This is how it works. You don't believe me? Test it. Try it. See if it works. No one wants Kirk Cousins on the 49ers except for you. Not your players, not your owner, not your front office. If you overrule all those people to trade a first-round pick for Kirk Cousins, you deserve to get fired, and it'll be inevitable. I promise you, Kyle. Test me. Test the Niner fan base. Test Jed York. If you trade for Kirk Cousins, I'm on Jed York's side. All of a sudden, I have sympathy for Jed York. Oh, my God. No, don't do it. Don't do it, Kyle. Think I'm joking? It's the absolute truth, man. I'm trying to save you from yourself. This is not a bit. It's not comic relief, dude. We all think that you're this close from making the worst decision of your life. Don't do it. Do we have to have an intervention, a Kirk Cousins intervention? Put the Kirk Cousins down. Put it down. You have OD'd on Kirk Cousins 8,000 times. Stop. Just stop. Okay? There's other quarterbacks out there. There's a whole other world out there. That's all I'm saying about Kirk Cousins. Final topic. The Deshaun Watson thing. This is serious because Deshaun Watson is really good. He's a big-time upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo. Everyone in the fan base would love to have Deshaun Watson. Everyone in your locker room would be like, oh, we got rid of Jimmy G for Deshaun Watson? Yes, fine. Jed York would be so happy The key is not trading too much. What is the absolute most you should offer? I figured it out. Peter King couldn't figure it out. They pay him a lot of money to give terrible hypothetical trades. Luckily, I make more money than Peter King, so this is why I make the big bucks. Peter King laid out some ridiculous 7-for-1 trade for you, where you traded 2 firsts, a second, a third, Jimmy Garoppolo, Mike McGlinchey, and Fred Warner for Deshaun Watson. Okay, that was terrible for a lot of reasons. First of all, Jimmy Garoppolo, why would they want him? They have $6 million in cap space. He's super expensive. I think they would rather have Cam Newton or Andy Dalton or Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, what? So no, Jimmy Garoppolo, not in the deal. Mike McGlinchey, why would anyone want him? No, that doesn't help you get Deshaun Watson. No. And then Fred Warner, hell of a player, but the Texans have their own Fred Warner. His name is Zach Cunningham. He's a hell of a player. I mean, could you pair him? Sure, but it's not like inside linebacker is a need for the Texans. It's one of their strongest spots. So none of those players help. And then 4 picks? No. You don't want to give up 7 assets for 1 in the NFL, where you have 53 players in your team and a salary cap. It doesn't make any sense. In fact, you don't want to give up lots of picks at all. The picks are what you're going to use to build a team when you have super expensive Watson, super expensive Kittle, super expensive Armstead, all this stuff. You need the picks. So what is the best offer? I figured it out. And you really owe me a nickel for this one. I'm saying 2 nickels. 2 nickels. This is a double nickel suggestion. It's so good. Here it is. It's a 3-asset trade. Okay. And I laid out yesterday for the good people who watch my show, not for you, unless you were watching. This is right for you. You can't trade for Deshaun Watson until June 1. They won't trade him because they'll say it'll cost them $6 million to trade him before June 1. They'll save about $10 million in cap space waiting until after June 1. So you got to wait until June 1. But the best thing about that is you won't have to trade your 2021 first-round draft pick. That 12th pick, that remains with you. That is you. You can get Watson without trading that. So this is the offer that you make to Houston. And if they turn it down, you're out. This is the most, okay? Nick Bosa, the 2022 first-round pick, and a conditional 2023, okay? It starts out, let's say it starts out as a 4th. But if you and Watson go to the playoffs in 2021 or 2022, which you probably will, that conditional 4th becomes a 2nd in 2023. And if you and Watson go to the Super Bowl in 2021 or 2022, which is possible, then that conditional becomes a 1st. And the Texans would get a 1st in 2022, a 1st in 2023, and Bosa, who is worth about the 2nd or 3rd pick in this upcoming draft. I mean, Bosa is worth more than the Niners' 12th pick. So from Houston's perspective, it's a way for them to get 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. If they can get more than that, God love them. But any other team that tries to compete with that package is going to have to trade first-round picks in 2024 and 2025. And Houston might look at that and be like, do we really, really want these picks way down the line? Or a guy like Nick Bosa, who can be the face of our franchise and a replacement for J.J. Watt now? I think they might like the Niners offer. I think they might like the immediacy of all the high-profile assets. Not high-profile. They're really valuable. Nick Bosa, very valuable. And then 2 firsts, potentially 2, definitely 1. I think that's something you should be comfortable trading. Nick Bosa and 2 1s, potentially, 1 in a conditional. And I think that's something that the Texans would consider. They don't need Jimmy Garoppolo. They don't need a bunch of 2s and 3s down the line. They need a replacement for J.J. Watt and 2 first-round picks. They can almost get that. They get a 1st and a conditional. If they don't want it, fine. You go call up Carolina and take their little poo-poo platter of picks. Great. But I think you can get really far with this, Kyle. So this is what you offer. And then you hold firm. Bosa, a 1st, and a conditional that can become a 1st. You don't trade. You don't have to trade the 2021 first-round pick because this deal goes down after June 1. What do you do with Jimmy Garoppolo? Who freaking cares? If you can trade him after June 1 with a pick maybe for Stephon Gilmore, great. If you have to cut him, who freaking cares? Doesn't matter. Just get the cap space. This is how you get Deshaun Watson on your team. It costs you Nick Bosa. That's great. Nick Bosa will go to the Texans and they'll be like a 2-win team and he'll have a great year. PFF will give him a great grade. But there's nothing he can do on his own to get the Texans back into contention because he's not a quarterback. If Deshaun Watson could only win 4 games, you take him off that team, replace him with Nick Bosa, they're going to win 1 or 2. So it's okay. He's a really good player, but he doesn't move the needle like Watson does. I like this trade. The only thing is, a lot of times trades are contingent on a player passing a physical. Kyle, you know that Nick Bosa is not going to pass a physical on June 1, June 2, June 3. He ain't happening. He may not pass a physical until September. He could start training camp on the PUP list. So the condition of this, along with the conditional pick, is Houston has to accept Bosa as is. They can't take him in and then have their doctors look at him and be like, actually, we changed our mind. Nope. You take Bosa now. And you have faith that he's going to come back and be the player you want him to be. Otherwise, you can't have none of this, because you can't have the Texans change their mind 2 months and send Nick Bosa back. That can't happen. Take Nick Bosa as is now with no type of physical. And then I think that's good. I think that's the deal you should offer. I don't know that they're definitely going to accept, but that's what you should offer. You're welcome. Kyle, you can stop taking notes. You can put your pen down. I'm done talking. You owe me 2 nickels for this, but I do appreciate you meeting me at 9 o'clock. It's now 9:22. You have plenty of time to go back and watch clips of yourself throwing passes from practice last year. I know it's what you like to do. I appreciate that you took time away from your favorite hobby to think about the future of your team and your quarterback position, because it's just as important as your mechanics throwing a ball, which are just immaculate. You've really worked hard on it. I like that. All right, Kyle, get back to your favorite thing. I will be back here doing your job, figuring out how to get the Niners their 2nd winning season since 2013, because it's not a given. But right now, I got to go pick up my mom and learn how to pick up my dad from the rehab facility. Friday's coming home. Next Tuesday's back on the Cone Zone. Kyle, I'll talk to you later. Everyone else, thanks for watching.